Hello, or should I say so. Anyway, welcome to another video, guys, that I will try to give you my honest opinion if it's worth buying and playing the original The Sims title in 2025. If you are a fan of The Sims games, you probably know that the 4th of February 2025 is the 25th anniversary of the release of the original The Sims game. And there is a lot going on related to the Sims franchise, and one of the biggest things was a re-release of The Sims and The Sims 2 for the Windows 10 or 11 users, which came out on the EA App, Steam, and Epic Store on the 31st of January 2025, which was yesterday. Believe it or not, I'm an OG Sims player, so I hope I can deliver some information which will help you decide if it's worth to investing your time and money into this re-release. In this video, I want to specifically talk about the original The Sims. A separate video for The Sims 2 will come soon as well. The Sims is a live simulation video game which was developed by Maxis and published by Electronic Arts on the 4th of February 2000 and was released for Microsoft Windows users. The main goal of this game is usually to keep your sim alive. However, many Sims players, including me, came up with many creative ways how to, let's say, make it really hard for your sim to make it through the day. One of the reasons why The Sims become so popular is definitely its gameplay. The freedom, the creativity, the possibilities you had, it was something that I have never experienced in any game before. Of course, the base game was limited, but The Sims came out with 7 expansion packs, and now, with the re-release, you have access to all of the content made for The Sims. It's called The Sims Legacy Bundle. Let's talk a little bit more about the gameplay. As I said before, your main goal is to keep your sim alive, build them a home, find a job or not, make them fall in love, take them on holidays, get them a pet, make them being a superstar, or let them play with magic. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this game so popular. Those 7 expansion packs that I talked about are Living Large, or it was also called Living It Up in some countries, House Party, Hot Date, Vacation, or in some countries it was released as On Holiday, Unleashed, Superstar, and Making Magic. All of them brought something new to the game. Either it's gameplay or objects for building or create a sim and new locations on the map or your neighborhoods. Apart from taking care of your sim, one of the main sellers of this game was the possibility of building. Honestly, for me, that was the main aspect of playing because I love to be creative. However, the options of building in the original game, The Sims, are limited, and of course, compared to the newer titles, it's obviously the most limited one. Let's talk about graphics, which is one of the limitations of the game. Graphics in The Sims are isometric, which means you can see what is going on the screen from 4 different perspectives, and you are able to rotate between them. You can zoom in and out, but that is also limited to 3 different zooms. I honestly think that the graphics of the game look really good for a 25 years old game, and it was ahead of its time. And although I'm a little bit of a graphics snob, the nostalgic feeling that I have while playing this game is more important to me than perfect graphics we can have nowadays with modern games. But I'm well aware that this graphic style might not be for everyone, and if you never played this game and you're not a fan of the isometric camera, I might not recommend you to buy it. Instead of that, have a look for The Sims 2, which was released in 3D design. But back to this title. One of the best selling points of the original The Sims is the sound design. Prove me wrong, but I always found the music and the sound effects to be one of the best features of this game. And the cherry on the top? Simlish. Maxis actually developed its own language for this game, which is called Simlish, and you can find the entire dictionary online. The voice acting is really great, and I find it really amusing and sells the game to me. Have a look yourself here. This is a recording from my yesterday's stream when we visited the amusement park from the Making Magic expansion pack. Boom! Imagine, right? It definitely makes the game better, and you can enjoy funny moments and interactions of your Sims which make you feel more connected to them. Let's talk about the performance of the game. One of the reasons for the re-release of The Sims and The Sims 2 was the compatibility with modern machines. Even if you still own those games, you couldn't really run them without some workarounds, which is now fixed with the re-release. The Sims runs in a full screen mode, it adapts to your monitor, and although there are not many settings that you can change in the game options, it runs fine, at least for me. However, I had one crash of the game while I was building a home for my family. The game closed itself unexpectedly and didn't give me any errors. I booted the game back again and everything ran fine since then, with no more crashes for the approximate 2.5 hours that I played and streamed. However, I heard that some players do have troubles to even launch the game. If you buy a game on the EA app, there is an option to get a refund for the game within 24 hours of the first launch of the game. It's called Great Game Guarantee, so I guess if you buy The Sims and you will not be able to run it for whatever reason, you can refund it. There's also an option to refund games on Steam, and I believe it's possible on Epic as well, but do your research first, please, if you are worried that you won't run it, so you can make sure that you get your money back in case that for whatever reason the game will not run for you. The loading time of the game is short and quick, and switching between lots is also very quick and actually quite smooth. The only issue I have noticed yesterday was that my game didn't remember the volume level of the sound I set while first booted, and when I relaunched the game it was reset to the default level, but I assume it was related to that game crash that I was talking about, and when I adjusted the volume again and ended the game correctly, it did remember the sound volume in my next launch, so it's not really an issue, and I think it was related to the game crash. Now we came to the point where I want to discuss if you should buy the game or not. For me, personally, getting both of the games, The Sims and The Sims 2, was a no-brainer because, as I said, I'm an OG Simmer and I played The Sims basically my entire life, and I wanted this re-release so much for so long because I was not able to play those titles. But I understand that for me, this game has a massive sentimental value, which clearly doesn't apply to everyone. If you want to buy The Sims, the price is $20 or £18, and the price for The Sims 2 is $30 or £25. And if you buy them together as a bundle, it will cost you $40 or £35. There is also a bonus content that you will get for The Sims 4 with each game, which is The Sims 4 Throwback Fit Kit with the purchase of The Sims, and The Sims 4 Grunge Revival Kit with the purchase of The Sims 2. And of course you will get both kits if you buy the bundle. Why you should play a game which is 25 years old? To be honest, it does feel a bit old and the mechanics were improved in later games. For example, your Sims don't age except of a newborn in The Sims. If you have a kid, they are a kid forever. However, there is one way to make your kid age with magic. Adult Sim doesn't turn to senior nor die due to the age, and it can become boring and it's not realistic. After a while you feel like you are not really progressing. However, that is really subjective, as you might challenge yourself to earn certain amount of money, to build a mansion or get every job in the game, etc. And there are options how to make game fun for a long time. I personally think that most of the players who will buy these re-released games are The Sims fans. I can't really see many players who are not familiar with this franchise buying these. However, I genuinely think that the gameplay, especially in The Sims 2, is the best gameplay among the entire series of The Sims. But I want to talk about the original Sims game in this video. For $20, you are getting the base game and all the DLCs. If you are a fan of games in general and you like simulations and sandbox type games, I think it's worth getting it because it's an iconic game and it's a start of the series which changed the gaming industry. And you can get many hours of gameplay for your money, especially if you want to explore all the opportunities you have in the game. I personally spent hundreds of hours in this game. There are many different objects and unique interactions. The relationships between Sims are fun to play with. And when you create your sim, they have a star sign, for example, which is based on their personal traits. And then they are attracted to other star signs, which makes the gameplay more fun and more interactive. And on the other hand, they have star sign that they dislike, which makes the relationship with such a sim more challenging and brings a lot of fun into the gameplay. If you are an ordinary player, no matter how this hurts me to say, I think it's probably not worth your money to buy The Sims. Because The Sims 4 is free to play, and although it's only a base game which is free to play and you have to pay for all the other DLCs, the graphics, the gameplay, it's more up to date and maybe more to your taste. The final decision if the game is worth it is up to you, of course, but if you are considering getting this game and you are excited to try The Sims original game, I recommend you buy the bundle because you will get both games together. And if there is one game you should definitely buy, it's The Sims 2. So why to not get both with a discount? As I said before, it feels very nostalgic to play The Sims and The Sims 2. I'm really happy that they re-released the game now and I can own it digitally without worrying about the old discs and everything. Let me know in the comments if you are planning to purchase any of those games or if you already did. And comment what are your favorite memories of playing The Sims. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider to subscribe. And I hope that I will see you in some of my next videos. Dag dag!